Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be filming a makeup tutorial. I'm going to be filming a Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita look. Up until about 2 weeks ago, I was a makeup artist working for Charlotte Tilbury. I worked for the company for about 2.5 years. I started working at the first location in Canada, which was in Toronto. The reason I left was to come to Thailand, which is where I am now. I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand. So because I worked for Charlotte Tilbury for so long, I pretty much have the whole line. Honestly, no joke, I have so much Charlotte Tilbury makeup. So I thought it would be fun to do a little series where I upload little tutorials about all of Charlotte's 10 looks. So the DNA of the Charlotte Tilbury brand is her 10 iconic looks. The idea is to make makeup really easy and accessible for all women. So you can go to a Charlotte Tilbury counter or look at her website, pick the look that you think suits you the best or the look that you're wanting to achieve. You can buy everything together as a set and you can create that look for yourself by watching Charlotte's tutorials or by learning from an artist at the counter. I find the Charlotte Tilbury makeup videos a little bit more sort of sales pitches and less tutorials. She's kind of selling you on the products more than she is showing you how to use them. So I thought I would try to give a few more tips and tricks that I learned from working for Charlotte Tilbury about how to use the products to get the look. So I'm going to start with Dolce Vita. It was our most popular palette, and when people would come in to get their makeup done, it was the one that they would gravitate to towards the most. I already have my base and my brows on. I'm just going to be applying the products that make up the color portion of the look. So I'm going to start with the eyes. So I already have my eyeshadow primer down. Charlotte tells you that you don't need an eyeshadow primer. You can just use the first shadow in her palette. She calls it the prime shade. I disagree with that. I think if you want your shadow to last longer and look more pigmented, you do need an eyeshadow primer. It's just a matter of opinion, I guess. I use the Lorac eyeshadow primer, and none of Charlotte's palettes really come with a light shade to kind of transition between the colors that we have on our lid and our brow bone. So what I'm gonna do is start off with a little bit of bronzer in my crease. So I'm taking a fluffy brush that is fluffy on the tip, but is still a little bit dense. So what I'm gonna do is dip into my bronzer. So the Dolce Vita has a really winged out eyeshadow look. I'm gonna start defining the shape that I want my shadow to take. So I'm bringing it all the way out and then back down towards my lower lash line. And I'm creating that nice V, nice and far out. Back up above my crease as well. Please excuse my brows. I've been growing them out since January and I had started to kind of give them a little bit of shape, but I forgot my tweezers when I came to Thailand, so they're kind of a mess. So just ignore them. Alright, so next we're going to go into the Dolce Vita palette. Charlotte tells you that you should work your way clockwise around the palette in order to apply the shadows to the eye. I'm not going to do that. I find you can get a bit better result not using the shadows in that order. So what I'm going to do is dip into the enhanced shade, which is this reddy brown right here, with the same brush that I was using in my bronzer. I'm going to really coat this in product, get it a lot onto the tip of my brush, and then I'm going to pat that onto my lid, starting from the outer corner and working my way about halfway across. So next I'm going to go in with this brush right here. It's very similar to the last one I used. I'll just put those beside each other so you can see. The bristles are shorter and it's less dense. I'm never going to dip this brush into any colors. I'm only going to use this brush for blending. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just really softly run this along the edges of that reddy brown shadow that I just put down in the same shape that we applied the bronzer in earlier. I'm just keeping it a little bit tighter. I'm not blowing it out as much as I did with that bronzer. So just really softly running over the edges to blend that out. Make sure that there's no harshness. So next I'm going to go in with a flat brush, and I'm going to dip this into the prime shade, which is the first color in the palette. And I'm going to apply this to the inner corner of my eye, again, by pressing that shadow into my lid. So I'm going to intercept with that ruddy brown on the center of my eye and really pack on that color. Now with the same brush that I used to apply that dark color on the outer edge, without dipping back into the palette, I'm going to go back and forth on the center of my lid to blend those two colors together. Next, I'm going to take the Pop shade from the Dolce Vita palette on my finger. You always want to use your finger in the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes in that Pop shade. Otherwise, you're going to end up with glitter all over your face if you try to stick a brush in there. I'm going to apply this to the inner portion of my eye as well, right over top of that prime shade that we just put down. Next, I'm going to take this small, dense brush, and I'm going to take this in the Smoke shade. And I'm going to apply this to the very outer corner of the eye. Again, pressing and packing on that color. I'm going to take my blender brush that I'm not putting any color on, and I'm going to really lightly go over the edges of that. And then I'm going to take the first brush that I use that has the ruddy brown shadow on it. Again, I'm not adding any additional product, and I'm just tapping right in the center. So I'm going to use a pencil brush for my lower lash line, and I'm going to start in my bronzer, and I'm going to connect it to the outer part of this V right here. So my V comes here, and I'm going to bring that right down. I'm going to use the Enhanced shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette, but I'm keeping this one tighter to the lash line. And then finally the Smoke shade. And I'm keeping this more on the outer third of the lash line. And I'm making sure to connect that up with the upper lash line as well. So what I like to do once I have everything on is just take a big fluffy brush and just run it over top of everything. So I'm continuing in that shape that I've been building the entire time. I'm just going over top of everything to make sure it's all blended. So I really want to do winged liner with this look. Dolce Vita needs a winged liner. The Dolce Vita look comes with the Feline Flick liquid eyeliner pen. I find that really difficult to use to do winged liner. So I really like that eyeliner to do a thin, defined liner across my lash line, but I find it really difficult to make the flick with that. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead with my regular Maybelline gel liner. I'm going to use that to do eyeliner. I'm going to put on some mascara and some lashes, and I will be back to finish the face. Really quickly, I forgot. I'm going to take a tiny little brush, and I'm going to pop that into the prime shade and just apply that right to the inner corner of my eye for my inner corner highlight. Like so. Okay, I'll be right back. So I've got on my liner and lashes. This is how the eyeshadow is looking. So I'm going to go ahead and do my lipstick, and then we're going to do blush last. One thing that I learned working at Charlotte was to do blush last, because then you can see how much color you need in your face. If you're wearing a nude lipstick, a lot of the time you need more blush. If you're wearing a really bright, colorful lipstick, a lot of the time you need less blush. I'm going to start with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Liner. This is probably Charlotte's most famous product. It's designed to mimic the color of your lips, so you can pretty much use it with any lipstick. It's like a pinky nude. So on my lower lip, I like to follow the natural shape of my lip because my lower lip is naturally already very full. For my upper lip, I'm going to overdraw my lips a little bit. Should I zoom in a little bit? When I overline my lips, I just go right above my natural lip line, and you can see already what a difference that makes. The lipstick in the Dolce Vita look is Penelope Pink. This is one of my 2 favorite Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. It's my most used, you can see. I use it a ton on myself, and I use it a lot during my freelance as well. It's great for brides or bridesmaids. Definitely a color to check out. So the gloss from the Dolce Vita look is Seduction, which is a nude. I don't have that gloss with me here in Thailand, so I'm gonna go ahead and use Blondie. Once the lips are on, we can go ahead and do the last step, which is blush. All of Charlotte's blushes look like this. They're two-toned. These are called Swish and Pop Blushes. What you're gonna wanna do is take your brush and swish around the outside edge first. And you're gonna take this up the cheek in circular motions. You always want to apply in circular motions. That's gonna help blend out the product. See a lot of people applying blush like this. That's gonna give you a really harsh line and it doesn't look very natural. So when you do circular motions, it's gonna help blur everything out and look nice and soft and pretty. Right in between my contour and my highlight, I'm going to apply my blush. And then I'm going to pop right into that center shade. I'm gonna smile and I'm going to apply that right to the apples of my cheeks. So this is the final look. If you have any specific questions, leave them for me down below and I'll be sure to answer you for them there. Also leave any requests. I'm gonna do a full series, so I'm gonna do 10 different videos showcasing all of the looks and the way that I would personally recommend wearing them. I hope this helped and was a little bit more informative. Anything to do with Charlotte Tilbury, you can ask me. I have all the information. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.